In the latest update, we have brought in some advanced digitizing capabilities into the software, and I want to take a few moments to show you what those are. They all pertain to your regular digitizing, manual digitizing tools, your run stitch, your satins, your steel, your fill stitch. So I'm going to go to the preferences, and there's a new tab here called digitizing. And inside of this digitizing tab, you'll notice that you have an output mode, which is either a line, pen, or Bezier. And just as a reference, that is accessible right here in the software up in this top section. You can choose your default here. Typically I use line, so that's what I have set up. For complex fill, you can set the mode to advanced or standard. So I'm going to show you what the difference is between these. I'm going to just put these on standard, all your run stitch, your satin, and your fill. I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to go up to my run stitch tool, and I'm just going to create a run stitch just like this, and I'm going to right mouse click, and it puts together a run stitch for you. So you don't have to do anything else, you just right click and it's done. So let me go back up to preferences, and I'm going to go back to the digitizing tab, and I'm going to change that run stitch to an advanced run stitch, and I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to come back up here, and I'm going to grab my run stitch, and I'm just going to do the same thing here. Create a little run stitch. Notice that I just right clicked, and now I have a green dot next to my cursor. This is allowing me to place my start point anywhere I want. Now I have a red one, so I can end it wherever I want. And when I'm done, I just right click, and you'll notice that when we get to that one, notice that it starts where I place the start point, and then it's going to end where I place that end point. This is just a handy tool whenever you're creating your own like red work designs. A lot of times you need to start and end in different locations, and it's just nice that if you have to do that a lot, you can come right up to the advanced tab, and you can just make that your default, so it's always going to ask you for a start and end point. Let me go into preferences now, or let me just bring in the satin stitch here. So I'm going to create a satin stitch, and I'm just defining both sides here. I'm going to close that, and I'm going to put in my start point or my angle lines here, and right click, and it's done. It didn't ask me for a start point or an end point. Now I'm going to go into preferences, and I'm going to change that over to an advanced mode, and let's create this satin stitch again. Close it. I'll put the angle lines in, right click, and now I can choose where do I want it to start and end. So let's say I want to start here, I want to end here, and that just made it so that it will start where you told it to start, and it will end where you told it to end. Again, it's an advanced feature that whenever you're creating it, you're doing design where you have to start and end in different locations on a satin stitch, not just at the ends of the shape. It's very handy to do. So let me go in here and let me choose the complex fill. I'm just going to create a complex fill here, and notice that it automatically just generates everything. It did the angle line automatically and start and end point. Let me go into preferences, and I'm going to go to advanced mode, and notice that there is a default angle. When I selected this fill stitch, the angle was at 0. That's because I specified that that's what I want the default angle to be. This is by default. You can change it if you want. I'm going to keep it there, and now I'm going to just be in advanced. So I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to go back to this tool, the complex fill. I'm just going to create a similar structure here. Now I get the ability to create the angle that I want. If I right click again, I can choose where I want it to start. I can choose where I want it to end, and it will generate it accordingly. So it's just a really handy feature that you can utilize a lot. depending on if you create designs yourself or not. One of the other things I do want to point out in this update, when you go to your Commands tab, for a tie-in and tie-off, we've added, we've always had none in basic. We did add triangle. Triangle is one of those lock stitches that is just it's kind of a nice lock stitch to have and use on fill stitches. You don't use them on run stitches, and you would only use it as a tie-in stitch for a satin stitch, or else you'll get like a little dimple or a star over the top of your satin, which you may have seen before. So I'm going to just doing a slow redraw. I'm going to go one stitch at a time just to kind of show you it's creating this triangle here before it stitches the design, and you can actually see the triangle here. So let me go one stitch at a time. This is your triangle lock stitch. It really locks very well. Again, you're only going to probably use it as a tie-in stitch for a fill or a satin. I don't recommend using it as a tie-off, and what I mean by that is you have a tie-in and tie-off. If you do it as a tie-off stitch, you're going to see, like right here in this area, it's going to put a triangle right there, and as you could see, you would be able to see that. So you wouldn't want to use it as a tie-off, but you can use it as a tie-in. It's just something that a lot of people are used to using in maybe some other softwares that they've had, and so we added that in as well. And it's just a handy tool. And so that's the advanced digitizing mode and the new lock stitch that we created. So we hope you enjoy.